Hey folks, welcome back to K-Mega Man-at-Arms. Today we're doing another sword review and we're having a look at the Balaur Arms German dual ring bastard sword. So this was sent to us by Cult of Athena for review purposes. We're going to do some testing with it, see how it handles, see how it holds up. And this is a sharp sword, so we're going to see how it cuts and yeah, what we generally think about it.
Yeah, just how we think it looks, how we think it feels.
So let's have a look at the specs.
So this is a 36 3/4 inches long blade. The sword weighs 4 pounds. It's a sharp, like we said, peened pommel. It's made by Balaur Arms, which my understanding is that they're working with designers at Cult of Athena to get these products out.
Yeah.
And it's pretty.
Yeah, like first impressions are really good. Like anytime a proper sword comes with a scabbard, I'm always happy. So let's have a closer look at the scabbard. We got the kind of ridges here that's usually meant for like belt attachment. It's fully leather wrapped on the wood core. And then we got some detailing here of illustrations. Looks like this is printed on the leather. And then we kind of, what looks like I have a brass shape with this nice butt on it.
Yep. If you flip it around, it's stitched up the back and the stitch is nice and centered, looks nice. It's a really nice scabbard, honestly. I really like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this is categorized as a bastard sword, which means you can have it in one hand and you can have your other hand on there as well. And we're going to see how that will work out for us when we start experimenting with this. And then we have these crossbars here. Looks like they have some nice detailing and flaring out at the ends.
Finials. You got to use the fancy
finials.
Or finials.
Finials and furbs. And we got this very distinct feature here of these two rings. We see this a lot in German swords, keeps your hands nice and safe. So we got a fairly wide blade profile towards the end and then a pretty acute taper into the tip, which is kind of indicative of like, oh, this is going to be a really nice blade for cutting because there's a lot of steel there to cut with.
You keep mass up way up at the top, so
yeah,
it's nice for being able to cut and stay far from the target.
Yeah, and still gives you a lot of like tip control.
Yeah. This sword, I don't think it says anywhere on the description on Cult of Athena, but it's very clearly based on a sword in the Wallace collection that looks almost exactly like this. And actually, thought it was interesting because this is listed as 4 pounds on the Cult of Athena website. The original is closer to like 4.5 pounds, and that thing looks like a beast. So
yeah, a lot of blade mass in there. Very good at the chop and the cut.
Yeah, so it's nice to see that this is actually like a more wieldable version of a historical sword. And that sword, I think it says on the Wallace collection that it's from 1580. So that's roughly what you're looking at if you care about time period for this.
Yeah, I like that historical touch in there. Obviously, we see a lot of swords that are reproductions. I don't know how specific it is as far as a reproduction, but it definitely is that look and that feel, which is pretty cool. All right, let's take this sword outside, do some testing with it, see how it feels, and then we'll get back with further details.
I got you.
Knew I would do that.
Nice. Nice. That was fun.
That's cool. Yeah.
Okay, I do love this. This feels great.
Okay, let's see some tatami cutting with the Balaur German Arms German dual ring sword bastard. Nice.
Like butter. This
Went-
thing is
went
such
easy,
a,
yeah.
It's such a cutter.
Nice.
I scooped on that. I felt it.
Yeah.
Scoopy.
Stuck. Nice. Oh, that was clean. Oh no.
Just clipped it.
Ooh. Looks like it's going through easy though.
Oh yeah. This tip is deadly.
Like
Nice. Beauty.
I knew that was going to happen though.
Yeah, it was already leaning off the stick. Nice. Clean.
Ooh. Nice. Ooh. Ooh. Damn.
I like the sword.
No chill.
That was
That was
good.
clean. I want to do pretty cuts like you. Okay, whatever, back to regular programming.
Ooh,
That was a good ender.
that was a good final cut.
Okay, I don't think I'm ever going to win any competitions cutting, but this is very satisfying to cut with.
Yep. Nice. It just goes.
Wow.
It's so good.
That is a lot
That is
less
some
effort.
That is
Man,
some deep penetration.
That is deep. All right, we're back inside after having some fun with the Balaur Arms German dual ring bastard sword. That's quite the mouthful. And yeah, so what are your first impressions?
I loved it. I think you're more into the big cutty wide blade kind of swords.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
not
yeah.
really my thing. I like rapiers and I like side swords.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
So like this wasn't when I first swung it around. I was like, oh, it feels nice, but like this isn't my cup of tea.
Yeah.
But then as I started cutting with it and actually feeling it move through targets, I was like, okay, actually I love this thing. This is
Yeah.
so dope.
I was surprised because I did a little bit of like just no target, free play, like flow a little bit first. And I was surprised at how well the blade like moved. I was expecting a lot of like pulling on my hands and it didn't do that at all. Nice tip control for a blade that is kind of like wide all the way to the end.
Yep.
And yeah, like you said, I like a wide blade. I like something big at the base and something that cuts. So yeah, that was a very pleasant experience.
Yeah, I was definitely pleasantly surprised by like the nimbleness of the blade. We did some thrusting at moving targets, and yeah, like I expected to have trouble like doing small wrist movements to bring the blade online, but it's not heavy in that way.
Something that I always like notice on a good blade or a blade that like handles well is that when you're doing an exercise or moving it around, you don't think about it anymore. And you just do the action and you're not thinking about what it's doing in your hand or like how it is fighting you, for instance. It just moves with the movements that you're intending. And that happened with this sword as well. It just obeyed my movements, and that's always nice to see.
Yeah, I mean, and so that's true for the blade. That's also true for the pommel. I was skeptical that this would be comfortable. Just like when I first picked it up, I was like, this is a really weirdly big pommel. And
Yeah.
then as soon as I started using it, I forgot about it completely. Didn't even notice it.
Yeah, this is a very distinct, unique design, and it's very like almost saucer shaped and very wide, wider than any pommel I've really dealt with. And also because this is like a relatively short handle bastard sword, so also be able to use as a one-handed sword. I have relatively big hands, so I needed to figure out where my hand was going to go. So that I think for me that took maybe a little bit longer to get used to. So that's maybe something to be aware of if this like has your fancy. Is how are you going to hold this? Are you going to hold this like this? Are you going to
and that's the thing, because we're pommel grippers.
We're
like
pommel
when we
grippers.
use our fetter, our hand is almost completely off of the bottom hand.
It's
off
always
the
like
grip.
here between the thumb and your index finger.
And that for me didn't really work. Like I couldn't hold it like that. So I slid my hand up to the grip a bit, but that was totally fine.
So when I did that, I had to figure out a little bit more on how do my cuts work. I noticed that I wasn't cutting as far into guard, but ending more with the tip forward, for instance. But I did really like it on the tip control. And like even going back to that pommel, like using that as an anchor to move it about. The handle itself, very comfortable. For me, it's the perfect size. It's a really nice handshake pommel to hold on to. And I think just enough space to like put that second hand on.
And it's got I guess it's cord wrapped leather over cord with some little raised bits. And everything just feels like it's in the right place. It's the right size. No complaints about the grip at all.
Okay, so the cutting itself, it went really easy. And that's always a good sign. Like I had good straight cut controls. It wasn't bouncing off too much. It was like eating through the targets like cleanly and very well uncontrolled. You
can tell this is a blade meant to cut. And another thing I was pleasantly surprised by was the flex. So it's a very nice, like tempered, it's a spring steel blade, and it flexes. Like if you want to find a way to safely flex it, it is flexible. So I did notice when we're doing some of the cutting that if you didn't have good edge alignment, you'd see the blade start to wobble and kind of bounce away from the target, which is great feedback that you need to straighten your cuts out.
Yeah, exactly. I had a couple of in the beginning, a couple of incidences with hitting the pel, the wood one and the metal one, and the blade like held up fine. So that's always nice to see. Like we're not here looking to test and destroy blades, but it needs to withstand when something goes wrong.
Normal wear and tear. It needs
normal
to
wear and tear. Yeah, exactly.
And we were hitting hard targets with no chips, no edge rolls, nothing. It's nice. It's what you expect.
Yeah.
And it was fun. I thoroughly enjoyed cutting with it, which is cool.
Yeah. It's we practice a lot of Italian swordplay, but this is such like a German sword. It's really nice to see and it's really nice to handle. Yeah. So definitely a fan. So for me, the only thing I really have to note on was the pommel. It's a little bit of use preference on getting used to it. Took me a little while, I think, to get comfortable with it. And it's part of the historical example, so I can't really complain about that too much. It's a choice you make if this is your type of blade. I think I'm a faceted send pommel stopper kind of guy. So this is definitely different than that. What do you think?
Aesthetically, it's not the first choice of pommel shape that I would choose, but I love that this is just a reproduction of historical.
Package,
so like as a full package, I think it looks great.
Yeah.
It fits because you also have like this is a shape that's being kind of reused on the terminals of the crossguard. So like it aesthetically it all works.
Yeah, it's not like it stands out. It's balanced within the design.
And like I said, once I started using it, I didn't notice it like feeling wise, so that wasn't an issue for me at all. Really, my only notes are just about the kind of the fit and finish on specifically the crossguard and the rings. Because the pommel and the blade are beautiful. Like the blade came sharp with like a really nice not mirror polish, kind of satin, shiny, nice polished finish. The pommel, same thing. It's got a really nice shiny finish, which doesn't match the crossguard and the rings for some reason. So the crossguard and the rings, I don't know how much you're able to see it, but they've got a bit more of like more satin, more dull.
Yeah.
And
a bit rougher.
A bit rougher. It's almost just like these parts just didn't get a polish. And where the crossguard meets the rings at the shoulders of the blade, you can kind of see like where I guess something was brazed or welded, whatever the case is. It's just not been smoothed out, so that the finish from here is more polished than the finish inside here, which is like me getting super nitpicky. But it was kind of the first thing I noticed because you pull the sword out of the box,
like,
you take a look
pretty.
You take a look at where your hand is, and then you're like, oh, why is this like dull and on the inside of the ring? Like the inside of the ring is just kind of not. I mean, we
And
can take sandpaper to it and clean it up a bit.
It's interesting because like I did not notice that. Like I enjoyed the shape of it, and maybe because I also like a little bit more of a rougher, more dull finish. I don't like high polish things, so it didn't really stand out for me, and I didn't really find it that much of an issue. But yeah, I mean overall it looks really clean and nice. Like it's fitting tight on the guard, which is really nice to see.
Oh yeah, like when it comes to actual fit, like there's nothing rattling. Everything is like super tight.
We banged it about, and it's still solid. Look, it's peened at the bottom.
Oh yeah, it is. I mean, it doesn't look like it is. That's actually a really nice part of the finish, because a lot of the time the peen is kind of a thing that sticks out and is a little bit more ugly, but it just looks like it's magically fitted together, actually.
Yeah, like overall, at first glance, I think this looks really nice. It looks like a very nice functioning sword, especially in this price range. I think that's also kind of important. You had the US.
So it's listed right now at $498 US on Cult of Athena.
Yeah,
which is just under 700 Canadian.
700 Canadian, yeah. Which is, I think, a fair price for this. For the amount of detail you're getting, the amount of functionality you're getting in this. There's a large scale of variety in sword prices, and functioning sharps get very expensive.
Yeah.
So I don't really have a complaint about the price point on this. It's always interesting to see like who wants this and to what end do they want it. Like, yeah, most likely you're cutting stuff in the backyard.
Yeah.
But realistically, if you think about it, when the zombie apocalypse happens, this is something that I would take 100%.
Yeah, and then if we're talking about like look, so let's just get this without stabbing myself in the hand.
You're very shaky.
I know I need longer arms. If you wore this on your hip, just look how gorgeous that package is.
I also, because I had it on a belt at one point,
with the chape and everything,
it wore very comfortably. Even though like it has the large rings, like the balance was nice on that. And sometimes it dips forward or sometimes it falls back. But yeah, this was very comfortable on the hip, despite how relatively large this is for a bastard sword.
Yeah.
Well, that is it for our review of the German long bastard dual ring.
No. That's it for the Balaur Arms German dual ring bastard sword.
There you go. Say that 10 times fast. Let us know in the comments if you have any experience with this sword and what you think or what you liked about what we showed you so far or not. Please like and subscribe to the channel and see you next time.